The grandsire, the father of all beings, Pitamaha, and here he is looked upon as the Guru, the Tattva Upadeshta, the one who teaches, one who does the Upadesha of Tattva, Paramartha Tattva by Ashvalayana. Ashvalayana sought Brahmaji Parameshti, the Pitamaha, as his Guru. Then, since he was sought as a Guru, then Pitamaha answered the request of Ashvalayana. First he says, Avehi, understand, Ava plus Ihi. E to go. The dhatu E means to go, to reach, to get, to gain, attain. Ava Ihi, may you attain, may you understand. Here, attaining is only in terms of understanding. Being Atman, it is not something which is to be attained afresh. What was not attained, you attain now. That is not the case here, but it is understanding, owning. And for that, Avehi, may you know, may you understand through the means, yoga. Yoga here is means, through the means, upaya, sadhana. And what are the sadhanas here? There are many, and all are related, and all are necessary also. No sadhanas in the Adhyatma Marga, in the spiritual pursuit, is unconnected. Unconnected to others, unconnected to the end. There is no such sadhana. All are connected, all are relevant, and also all are necessary. Here he mentions three main sadhanas: Shraddha, Bhakti, and Dhyana. Shraddha, trust, an understanding, an idea, an ascertainment born of some analysis. Here Shraddha does not mean belief, like with reference to certain beliefs we have, certain scriptures, certain ideas. It is just belief. Here their belief means you have nothing more to know about that. It starts as a belief, ends as a belief. That's all. There's nothing more to it. Just belief, belief, belief. That's all. Here it is not so. Here it is a trust pending understanding, pending discovery. This is the meaning of Shraddha. This is the meaning. This is the meaning. The more correct meaning of Shraddha. A trust pending understanding, pending discovery. This is the meaning. It's like even I trust my eyes to see the color, to see the form of an object. I trust my eyes. Right? I trust that my eyes can see, and I trust my eyes that it can reveal the form or the color of an object as it attains in the particular background, in the particular surrounding condition. Right? I trust my eyes that they can see, that they can reveal correctly. What they reveal is valid. I trust. And that is to say, I understand that my eyes are pramana. They reveal something, and they are the unique means to reveal something. Right? It's not a belief here, I believe my eyes. It's not a belief here, but then just not a blind belief, meaningless belief. It is not. Unverifiable belief it is not. Suppose there is an object which is yellow in color, and my eyes also show it as yellow as it is. So it is verified, it is known that it is yellow. In this background light, it looks yellow, it's verifiable. Whereas many belief systems are there which are totally non-verifiable. Okay? God is in heaven. There is no way of verifying. There is no way of verifying this. How do you verify that? To verify, I have to go to heaven. Right? Only then perhaps I can verify. But then I am a different entity there, right? In a different body, with a different outlook, I am a different entity there. I am not going to remember that the one saw Mr. X here, and then I believed that on earth, while on earth I believed that God exists in heaven. Now I am in heaven and I am seeing God, etc. It doesn't happen like that. So unverifiable beliefs are there. We are not talking about Shraddha, we are not talking about such unverifiable beliefs here, but then verifiable, pending discovery, pending understanding. That is the meaning of Shraddha. Like even I have Shraddha in my eyes, in my ears. I hear somebody's voice, some bird's voice. I say it's a parrot singing. It's a cuckoo singing. I understand. It's a peacock singing. I trust my eyes and ears. I trust myself also. It's something like that. Pending discovery, pending understanding, trust. And here Vedanta, Veda is a pramana. This is the Shraddha here. Veda is a pramana, is a Shraddha to start with. Only when I have this Shraddha, then I can employ this, I can engage myself in using this, employ this to know what it has to reveal, what it has to make me understand. If I don't have Shraddha, then I will not use it, and even if I use it, I will say it's an opinion, that's all. I will say it's an opinion, that's all. Right? What Veda says is an opinion, that's what I would say. So here it is a trust, implicit trust, like I have in my eyes, so that I can engage myself, and then in the process of engaging, like even when I use my eyes, I do not bring up any other obstacle, any other, what do you call that? An obstacle in between, right? Something in between. What blocks? I don't bring in a block there, right? My ideas, my beliefs, my notions, I don't bring them in between. Here, when I see Vedanta as a pramana, Upanishad as a pramana, Veda as a pramana, I don't bring up this ego in between, the layers of ego in between. I just open up. Like even I open my eyelids when closed is a block which prevent me from seeing. When I use my eyes, I open my eyelids and see. Right? So too, when I use Veda as the pramana, I don't bring in my own ego or my own notions or my own preferences, preferential ideas, foregone conclusions. All that I do not put in between. I don't put the spoke, a wheel in, what do you call that? A spoke in the wheel. Put spoke in the wheel. When a wheel turns, it has to turn freely, right? Suppose I put a stick in between, then it prevents the wheel from turning. So too, here when I employ the pramana, I do not bring in my ego, any obstacle. At least deliberately, I do not bring in. That is Shraddha. I let the pramana work on me. I let the eyes do their job. So too, I let the Vedanta, the pramana, to do its job. I have chosen to use this pramana, Vedanta, and I let it do its job. For that, Shraddha is a prerequisite. Without Shraddha, I will always disbelieve the pramana called Vedanta. Therefore, Shraddha is very, very indispensable. Without Shraddha, one does not understand what Vedanta has to teach, what Vedanta has to reveal. And here, what Vedanta has to reveal, make me understand, is my Purushartha as well. My Parama Purushartha indeed, in fact. And therefore, it's more imperative that I must let it do its job on me. Right? That is Shraddha. Shraddha is necessary for that. Without Shraddha, one does not understand what the scriptures, Vedas have to say, have to show to me. Then, Shraddha. Gita says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Only the Shraddhavan, only the person who trusts the Brahman, Veda as a Brahmana, understands. Right? Other person does not understand. The person may look upon what the Veda says only as an information, that's all. It's just some information. I know that dinosaurs were there, and this type of dinosaur were there, this was so long, so big, so thick, etc. All that. It's just an information. It means nothing to me as a person. Right? It has nothing to do with my aspirations, purushartha, it has nothing to do. An information doesn't have anything to do with me as a person. So what Vedanta say? Brahman, okay. Brahman is Atman, okay. That's all. It remains an information. Nothing happens. It doesn't touch me. It doesn't transform me. Therefore, Shraddha is indispensable. Okay. Of course, one can grow in Shraddha also. Right? A person, a human being has trust. It's a very innate capacity. Gita says, Shraddhamayaha ayam purusha. Shraddhamayoyam purusha. It's not that nobody is a non-believer. Everyone believes in something. What the person believes is the question here. Even a non-believer in God believes in his own ideas that there is no God. That's all. It's a belief. A non-believer has a belief. It's a belief, right? That person has certain notions about God, right? And then those notions are not acceptable to him, and therefore he says, no, there is no God, right? So what the fellow thinks as God, that is not acceptable to him, not okay with him. Then he says there is no such God. So what he rejects is not God, but what he rejects is a belief which he cannot accept. That's all. That's all he rejects. He cannot reject God because he does not know what is God, right? Only because the fellow who does not know what is meant by the word God here, that's why he rejects it, and not because he knows God and then knows that there is no God and rejects. There is no such way. That is just not possible. So even a non-believer, an atheist, only rejects a belief about God. That's all. He cannot reject God. There is nothing for him to reject God. There is nothing for him. He has only a belief to reject. That's all. And unfortunately, that belief is not complete. It's not a complete description. It's not a complete picture of what God is. And therefore, there is some element which is not acceptable to him, and that therefore the fellow rejects it. Right? Therefore, here, every person is a believer only. Every human being is a believer. Right? Without belief, nobody can live. Believing in something or other, nobody can live. Shraddha mayaha ayam purusha. I have to, when somebody offers me a sweet meat, right? Some laddu, I have to believe. that. Will it be poisoned? Suppose my wife gives me at home, makes a cake and gives me, dear honey, have this cake. Would she poison me? Honey, you eat first. If you survive, then I will eat that cake. The next day she will leave me. Next day, the very same moment she will leave me. Bye. I can't live with you. Bye. I have to trust. Right? The mother trusts children, and then the children trust the parents. Right? The students trust the teacher. I trust the government. I trust the laws. I trust in justice. Right? Without trusting, life is just impossible. Even when I put something in my mouth, as simple as swallowing something, I trust that it will go down this side and not this side. Okay? Not into the windpipe. Without even trusting that, I can't even swallow that. Right? I can't eat food. Suppose I swallow, suppose you go to the windpipe, I won't eat. I'm afraid it may go into windpipe. Then somebody has to force feed me. Even if you force feed me, what if still goes to the windpipe? What it goes to? The force feeding, they insert a tube, etc. And sometimes it goes into the windpipe. Right? So what I say, even a simple thing, it's all we trust. Shraddhamayaha, and very revealing statement in the Bhagavad Gita. This human being is full of Shraddha only. Right? Shraddhamayaha, made up of an embodiment of trust only. That's all. Shraddhamayaha ayam purushaha. Then, in the Gita itself, the Shraddha may be in varying degrees, of various varying qualities. He says, Satviki Shraddha, Rajasi Shraddha, Tamasi Shraddha. The quality of Shraddha may be Satviki, may be of Sattva nature, or it may be of Rajas nature, Rajasi Shraddha, or it may be of Tamas nature, predominantly Tamas in nature, Tamasi Shraddha. Right? Whatever it is Shraddha. But then within that Shraddha it may be Satviki, Rajasi, Tamasi, whatever. Right? So, whereas a refined person or a person who is committed to refinement takes to Satviki Shraddha, and gradually grows out of Rajasi Shraddha and Tamasi Shraddha, if the person has any. Okay? Therefore here Shraddha is indispensable. Shraddha Mayakayam Purushaha. And then Bhagavad Gita again says, Yoyat Shraddha Sayeva Saha. As one's Shraddha is, so the person becomes. Right? As one Shraddha is, what is it? What is the line I said? Yoyat Shraddha Sayeva Saha. That person verily becomes that. Okay. If I have Satviki Shraddha, then I become Satvika. If I have Rajasi Shraddha, I become Rajasa. If I have Tamasi Shraddha, I become Tamasa. Here, Shraddha here refers to Satviki Shraddha. I trust in Guru and the Vedanta. And they are one. Guru is Vedanta. What Guru says is only Vedanta. It's a teaching of Vedanta. And Vedanta is a pramana, which is the means for my Parama Purushartha. With this, the person can pursue one's understanding, one's study of the Vedanta, Shraddha. Then Bhakti. Bhakti can be taken as the devotion to Ishvara in its normal sense also. An abhakta cannot be a jnani, right? Nobody can become a wise person, right? One may be worldly wise without being devotee, without devotion. One may be worldly wise. But when we really talk about wise people, here it's about knowing Ishvara as Atma. Shraddha is Bhakti is indispensable. And abhakta, right, cannot be a jnani. As simple as that. And abhakta, a person who is not a bhakta, who has not discovered the bhakta in oneself, right, cannot be a jnani. Okay. Because it involves, bhakti involves understanding also. Without bhakti, there is the first step in understanding, or the preliminary steps in understanding, bhakti is a must. One has to discover the devotee in oneself. The expression of the devotee may be different. See, some are given to physical expressions, like going to temple, going around the temple, also going to pilgrimage, going on a pilgrimage, physical expression. And some are given to verbal, chant. They do keep on reciting, doing japa most of the time, right? Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Sahasranama, they keep on reciting. That's a verbal expression of devotion. Some are given to the manasa, right? It's within. But it's in keeping with one's nature, one's level, and then certain other external factors also. Whatever it is, one is a devotee. Discover the devotee in oneself. That I am a devotee is a discovery one has to make in oneself. When one is not familiar, one is not trained to the expressions of devotion, one may feel strange. Like even a person who is not used to going to temple will feel some reluctance within. When the person sees somebody else going to temple and saying prayers, etc., this fellow will feel reluctant. That is because of what he missed. The fellow missed something, right? That initial training, the exposure, learning of the practice, going to temple and praying, relaxing. And we should overcome that. We should overcome that. No? I will not go to temple. I will not say a prayer. One should overcome that reluctance. There is some reluctance within. It's a block. Understand, it's a block. As long as the block is there, I will not achieve what I am seeking. It's very important. That is to say, one should discover the devotee in oneself. Abhakta cannot be a jnani. Simple. Full stop. Full stop. There is no compromise on this. Abhakta cannot be a jnani. Cannot be free from samsara. Full stop. Bhakti. So devotion. And after all, what is one devoted to? To what one expresses one's devotion? To Ishvara, who is in the form of this order, the grand order, right? This complex order called as Prapancha, right? The Prapancha is a manifestation of Ishvara. This is how the Vedas point out. The world is non-separate from Ishvara. And I live in the world, I use the world, I interact with the world. It's very useful definitely for me to understand what it is. To understand that there is an order, that's a vast order called dharma. That vast order is called dharma. And when it applies to human being, it's in the sense of propriety, choice, etc. This dharma is all encompassing. It is there. It is there. It obtains. It is there. So a wise person, an intelligent fellow is one who accepts what is there. If it is there, it is intelligence to accept what is, what obtains. So the order obtains, the Vishwarupa order obtains, and this person accepts it and then tries to understand as best as possible, as much as possible. If not in details, no one can understand the vast order completely. One has to be a sarvajna, omniscient, to know this order completely. And we are not sarvajnas, we are not omniscient. The human mind can never be omniscient. But it can understand what is omniscient. At least that there is omniscience, the human mind can understand. That itself is a big step for the human mind. So I may not understand all the details that obtain in this prapancha, all the laws, all the phenomena, all the entities, all the experiences. I am never going to have. But I can understand that there is omniscience. There is this vast order. And I am trying to understand the order and relate to this order as intelligently as possible, as wisely, as maturely as possible. That means bhakti, right? Prayerfulness. So, prayerfulness I don't know whether I said it here. If I said it, I am still repeating it. Right? Prayerfulness is not just asking for what you want. Prayerfulness is an expression of what is given, what you already have, what is given to you. Right? Prayerfulness is not just asking for what all you want. Give me this, give me that, give me this much, give me now. Right? Don't give me this. Right? Just asking for things. Usually that's how prayer is understood. People think that prayer means asking for something. That's how people take prayer. Oh, this fellow is praying, asking for something, asking for a certain thing. Well, yes, prayer is asking for something, but that is not the entire meaning of prayer. And in fact, I say that a good part of the meaning of prayer is to appreciate what is given. What you have, what is given to you, what you are blessed with, you appreciate what is there, what is given. This is prayer. This is part of it. In fact, the bigger part of prayer. So prayerfulness is to be appreciative of what is given to you. Right? Bhakti. Then, what does Vedanta point out about Ishvara? Vedanta says Ishvara is Atma. Jiveshvara, Aikyam, it points. Ishvara is Atma. And who is Atma? I am Atma. I means what? This. I. What obtains us I is Atma. The truth of the I is Atma. Now, this knowing this I is my Purushartha. I understand that when I discover myself, in myself as Purna, then that's my Purushartha. And that Purushartha happens to be Ishvara. And therefore, and I myself do not know this now. I myself do not guess this now, infer this now, right? Nobody guesses the truth about Ishvara by one's own thinking, by one's own conjectures, right? Philosophers all try to, right, arrive at God independently, right? And they all arrive at their own certain ideas they arrive at, yes. But that does not constitute the entire description, the nature of Ishvara. They do not. That's why they differ among themselves. One philosopher dismisses the earlier philosophers, and then the later philosopher dismisses this philosopher, and then this third philosopher says the earlier one is right. What the second one dismissed, this fellow says the earlier one is right. Or this fellow says I am right. They both are wrong, I am right. And then the fourth one fellow comes and says all the three are wrong, I am right. What is this finality? So they don't get a complete understanding of Ishvara. Pramana is the only source. Pramana, Vedanta, Veda is the only source to reveal the true nature of Ishvara. Satchidanandam, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Vedanta alone reveals the true nature of Brahma. And that happens to be my Purushartha. If I am an intelligent person, I must have a commitment to my own Purushartha. If I am intelligent enough, I understand what is my Parama Purushartha, and I have a commitment to accomplish that Purushartha. To achieve that Purushartha, what should I do? I should have a commitment. Without commitment, I don't understand. I don't get what I am seeking. A commitment is necessary. Commitment to do what one has to do. Right? When I look at Vedanta, when I am studying, I must look at it with an open mind. I should try to understand that rather than dismiss it, rather than keeping on doubting it. Dismiss your doubts. Don't dismiss Vedanta. Try to dismiss your own erroneous notions. Question your doubts. Don't question Vedanta. Question your doubts. Okay? I am doubting this. Is this right? Is my doubt right? Question your doubts. Don't question the Vedanta. Question your own self. Question your doubts. I think so, I understand so, I feel so. Is it right? Question yourself. That is necessary. Okay. A lot of people don't question themselves. They question others. They question the authority. They question the pramana. But they don't question themselves. They don't learn. They hold on to their own opinions. That's all. Full stop. They will never see beyond their own opinions. So, bhakti means a commitment, an attempt to understand, and also to do to myself whatever that is necessary for me to understand, like preparation. Chitta Shuddhi is a must. Chitta Shuddhi is a must. Freedom from Raga Dvesha is a must. Shama, Dama, they are all must. Right? Shraddha, Titiksha, etc. Everything is a must. Without that, I won't understand. I won't get what I am seeking. Full stop. There is no way of denying the necessity of the sadhana chaturthaya sampatti. There is no denying the need for practicing the sadhanas, growing on the sadhanas. Anyone who denies is wrong. He doesn't understand what it's all about. Anyone, where it may be. You don't need this, you don't need that, you don't need that. That person does not simply understand what it's all about. Okay? So sadhanas are indispensable. The Chitta Shuddhi is indispensable for one to understand, to own oneself, to be free from sadness, to be full, to live in fullness. The Chitta Shuddhi is indispensable. We cannot bypass it. There is no bypassing. So for that one needs a commitment. That is bhakti. Commitment to the pursuit, commitment to the sadhanas. What needs to be done, I should do. For that, the commitment is bhakti. Seeking sincerely, having the commitment, that is bhakti. Then dhyana, dwelling on what is profound, what is meaningful. Dhyana, it's not just sitting in a place, sitting in a time, right? But then one has to become familiar with sitting in a place, so that one has to familiarize oneself with the sitting in one place, meditating. One has to become familiar with that. When I am not familiar with that, no, I have to familiarize with that. See, I said there's no bypass. Don't try, don't think, don't what do you call that? Don't fancy that I don't need it. I can bypass this. Don't fancy this. You are deluding yourself. If you think so, you are under delusion. Full stop. You are under delusion. If I think, no, I don't need that. Stop. I don't need that sadhana. You are deluding yourself. You are fooling yourself. Full stop. Okay. So I have to become familiar with myself, seeing myself. I have to become familiar with, I have to get used to seeing the truth for a length of time, dwell on it. I have to get familiar with that. I said there is no bypass. You cannot bypass one step. Okay, you cannot bypass. You won't get anything. You won't get it what you want. Therefore, one has to become familiar with that, familiarize, and see the result of it, and then see how it is useful to oneself, and then keep going, keep moving forward. So, an ability to dwell on the truth, on the teaching, right? It's very necessary. Dhyana is that, about that. And also, they say dhyana presupposes here Shravana, Manana, etc. Etc. all they presuppose. Therefore, dhyana, the word dhyana includes Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana also. It includes dhyana. After all, Shravana is the most antaranga sadhana for jnanam. And Manana, Nididhyasana, they are helpful for owning, for assimilating the Shravana. What is Shruta? You listen to the teaching, you study the teaching for you to assimilate, to own for yourself, as yourself. Manana and Nididhyasana are helpful. They are helpful. Shravana is the primary sadhana, and Manana and Nididhyasana are very, very extremely helpful for owning, for understanding, without inhibition, without a block, right? Without misunderstanding. Assimilate completely, own completely. For that, Manana and Nididhyasana are necessary. Right? Are very, very necessary. And all the three are referred to by Dhyana. And these are the yoga, the means for knowing what you asked. Ashvalayana, you asked Brahmavidya, Varishta, Niguda, etc. And for that, you take to these means. Dhyana Yoga Avanti. Okay. Now, let us look into the commentary. We can start with the commentary on this Tasmai Sahovacha mantra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th line. 5th line in that commentary. Start with the Shraddha, Astikya Buddhi. Shraddha, Astikya Buddhi. Shraddha is Astikya Buddhi. The understanding that Veda is a Pramana, Guru is the Upadeshta. For that, I take them as true. I may not understand it yet fully. Just because I do not understand it fully now, I am not ready to dismiss it as untrue. Rather, I take it as true, a truth which I am yet to understand. That is the Satyatva Buddhi, Astikya Buddhi. I consider it is true. Maybe I don't understand it yet fully now, but yet I am wise enough. I don't dismiss it as untrue just because I do not understand this. Again here, a lot of people tend to dismiss something what they do not understand. Okay? What they do not understand, they tend to dismiss something as untrue, not true. No, it's not so. It's a mistake. It would be a mistake to dismiss. Just because I do not understand now, right? It's not right to dismiss it as untrue. That is Astikya Buddhi. And further, this is not about something else. It's about me. As Swami says, you keep on falling on your own lap repeatedly. You can't escape from that. You fall back onto your own lap again and again and again, and repeatedly you come back to yourself. You come back to yourself. You come back to yourself. This is not an external pursuit, right? You try to know this, understand this, use this, employ this, or be rid of that. It is not something external. It's not other than you. It's all you and you and you. The beginning and end of Vedanta is you, right? And therefore, you can never escape. You can never forget that. You keep on falling back onto yourself. For that, and that happened. That what I am seeking is my Purushartha, Parama Purushartha, and for that this Shraddha is indispensable. Astikya Buddhi is indispensable. Okay. Bhakti, Bhajanam, Tadeka Tatparya Buddhi. The commentator here very nicely says, Bhakti is bhajanam, seeking, commitment, he says. The word bhaj, the dhatu bhaj, bhajanam, bhakti, they have many connotations. Here the bhakti is not singing in praise of the Lord, it is not only that. Even though the word has that meaning also. The word bhakti includes that also, but that is not the exhaustive, that is not the exclusive meaning of bhakti. But here It's seeking also. The word bhajanam means seeking also. Commitment. That he says, commentator says, tad eka tatparya buddhi. One's commitment, an abiding commitment, unflinching commitment, unshaken commitment to that. Tatparya, a commitment. Tatparata, remaining committed to that, right? Discovering the commitment in oneself. That is the tadeka tatparya buddhi. Very nicely, he says, tadeka, and to that alone, the primary commitment is only for that. Then, dhyanam, vijatiya pratyaya shunya, sajatiya pratyaya pravaha, the stream, the flow of sajatiya pratyaya, ideas connected, related, sajatiya, belonging to the same type. Whatever that connects to one's understanding, one's process of understanding Atma Swarupa is sajatiya. It's not necessarily one pratyaya. Pratyaya is a particular thought, right? It's not just one thought, not just one word, not just one idea. One may have one idea for a length of time, that's okay. But then here dhyanam does not mean only having one idea. It is having all connected ideas, relevant ideas, necessary ideas. Sajatiya pratyaya. And for that, vijatiya pratyaya shunya, free from, shunya, free from. Vijatiya pratyaya, ideas, the flow of ideas which are contrary to what one is pursuing. Suppose I am studying for an examination tomorrow, that is looking into the book and then any my class notes and the friends tips etc., and then looking into some other source which gives an information about this topic, right? They are all sajatiya active. I am trying to understand that, I am trying to remember that, and there is some sketches there. I try to understand the sketch, practice the sketch because I have to draw it in the examination I have to do it. These are all sajatiya. I sharpen my pencil. These are all sajatiya activities. Now, sitting and keeping the book on my desk, I am thinking about the Super Bowl, right? Or the Ashes series, 2020, golf, gambling, which horse will win. That's all vijatiya pratyaya, unconnected to what I have to do. And not only unconnected, opposed to what I am doing. Right? They just take away my time, eat away my time, eat away my energy, in effect eat my life. Right? They eat my life. Vijatiya pratyaya. Right? They just eat away my life. A slice of my life is gone. That is vijatiya pratyaya. So, sometimes they just come. Vijatiya pratyayas just come unasked. They just pop up. Okay? I have no control over what thought will pop up in my mind next. We have no control. It just comes. Then how it comes, why it comes, karma, samskara, whatever, abhyasa, practice, and then my own ruchi for it, lot of factors why it comes. But then, even as it pops up, then I have a capacity to look into it, decide whether to go along with it, whether to pursue that, or just brush it aside. Don't pay attention to that. Suppose there are some animals, and then one monkey is just jumping about. Okay, just ignore. You don't pay attention to the pranks of that, right? Just ignore. That we do all the time. We ignore what we see, what we consider as unimportant, unconnected, unproductive, we ignore. Okay? Even though it comes in your field of perception, you just ignore. See, when we are walking on the road, walking on some street, we keep on seeing something, some stone we see, some grass we see, some street dog we see, and then somebody walking, some child crossing, all that we see. All that we see. But then we keep walking towards our destination. In spite of seeing all that, no, we don't just get lost in those incidental sights. In India, you have this street magicians are there. No? The wayside, the platform magicians are there. Some kids, when they go to school, on their way to school, happen to cross this magic show happening. This fellow is doing some magic on there, some magic show, something. And this kid stops there and then has to go to school, forgets all about that, gets lost in the magic show here, right? And then there's a monkey charmer is there, snake charmer is there, gets lost in it. We don't get lost in the incidentals, what just pops up. Unfortunately, the mind keeps on popping up things, different things, connected, unconnected. It just has its own logic of popping up things. See, in a popcorn, in a pan, when you are heating up popcorn, which corn will pop first? Which will pop second? You can't predict. You may guess all right, but you can't say for sure, this corn thou shalt pop first. You can't say. But then there is a reason. It has its own reason why this pops first. It has its own reason, but you don't know. So to mind keeps on popping up things. It has its own logic. It has reasons. But don't assume that just because it pops up in the mind, it is important, and you have to pay attention to all of that. So where is your buddhi? Where is my buddhi? Where is my wisdom? Where are my priorities? So I have to decide what is priority, what is important, and then go along with what is priority. I decide my priorities very clearly and then go along with my priorities. What does not fall within my priority? So that I have to be very, very clear. In deciding the priority, I have to be very, very clear. What are my priorities? I have to be very frank and very honest. I have to be intelligent to decide what are my priorities. And then go about doing that. So whatever that is non-priority, inconsequential, does not contribute and rather hinders my pursuit, I decide to keep it away. Deliberately I keep it. Practice that. Practice keeping it away. Practice not going along with these stray thoughts, unconnected, opposing thoughts. That is the vijatiya pratyaya shunya. See, we understand this only when we do it. Right? Only when we do it, we understand. For that, I have to sit and then see that vijatiya pratyayas come. I identify them as vijatiya pratyaya, and then I have to ignore them. I need to practice that. I need to become familiar with that. Practice is very, very important. Sadhana, it means practice, full stop. There is nobody can undervalue the need for sadhana practice. As I told you, we cannot bypass any one sadhana here. A lot of people try to overlook that, try to underplay that. It is not correct. It is just not correct. I need to be familiar with it. I need to do that. Vijatiya pratyaya, I need to identify and I need to not to go along with that. Right? Then only I have the handle, how to handle it. I met a teacher who teaches the art of play, the drama, theatre a teacher of theatre. There he said, rehearsal is very important, the most important thing in a play, in theatre. Rehearsal is the most important thing. You rehearse once, twice. Once is for some very experienced actor who is very good in memorizing the role, the dialogues, the script. Maybe only once. There are expert actors. So you tell them once, and then they know what it's all about, and because of expertise, and that is after learning, right? After a lot of rehearsing, after a lot of experience, that person becomes an expert. But a novice is then the person has to practice, rehearse, practice. You rehearse 1,000 times if necessary. You rehearse 100 times if necessary. Then once your rehearsal is thorough, then you don't have to rehearse anymore. Right? Rehearsal is not necessary. For that, rehearsal is necessary. You have to be so thorough with that, then no more rehearsal. See, you rehearse 10 times, 100 times if necessary, then you can perform that theatre act any number of times, be it once or be it 1,000,000 times. You don't have to rehearse anymore, but then you have to rehearse so that you don't have to rehearse. Right? Therefore, the practice is very, very important. Never underestimate the need for the importance of Vijatiya Pratyeshunya. I need to become familiar with their popping up, and I need to be familiar with handling them properly, ignoring them when necessary, and then I also need to cultivate the Sajatiya Pratyaya Pravaha, what I need to bring in. In the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asks in one place, Chanchalam hi manaha Krishna pramathi balavati dridham, etc., etc. He asks, mind is very fickle, Krishna, and it is very forceful also. It draws away a person from here to elsewhere. Something unconnected, it draws away. And I consider restraining the mind, Krishna, is very, very impossible, like controlling wind, like restraining wind, it's very difficult. Arjuna says Krishna. And then Krishna says, yes, asamshayam mahabhaho. No doubt, Arjuna, no doubt. Manaha, asamshayam mahabhaho, mano durnigraham. Mind is very difficult indeed to restrain, to control. It's very difficult indeed. Krishna does not stop there. Arjuna stopped with this idea that mind is difficult to control. Krishna says, yes, Arjuna, mind is difficult indeed to control. But Krishna doesn't stop there. Abhyasena vairagyena grihyate. One can practice, one can learn the restraint, one can learn control, mastery by abhyasa, practice. And vairagya, necessary wisdom, necessary understanding, right? Abhyasena tu vairagyena grihyate, it is mastered. Okay. So, I need to cultivate, put in the seeds of thought, remove the weeds, remove the seed of the weed also if it is there, and then I sow the seeds of the crop, of the grain, right? Necessary, both are necessary. So, a lot of people have this difficulty. Meditation means mind wanders away. Here, idhar udhar ghumta hai, they wanders here and there, and also I fall, doze off, asleep. So what? No, don't come to meditation, don't meditate, full stop, because I fall asleep. To sleep, why should I come there? I'll rather lie down in my bed and sleep. More comfortable, okay? Here I am uncomfortably asleep. And then I also guilty also. I feel guilty. I come for meditation, I fall asleep. And also, suppose I snore, and I disturb others also. Why should I disturb others? Why should I feel guilty? Why should I be uncomfortably dozing off there? So I just remain in my room and sleep. Sleep in that time, sleep off. In fact, that's what most will do. Meditation time, people stay in the room and sleep. That's all they do. Okay, sir, you sleep in the beginning, all right. It's not that you are going to sleep all through the process, but you are not going to sleep. It's not that. You get over that. You get over that. Now, you understand that when you sit, you sleep. You fall asleep. You have to get over that. Unless you do that, you won't get over that. You won't get over unless you do that. Do it and get it over. Okay? And then Krishna gives some certain useful tips also in that chapter. So proper food, proper amount of food, proper rest, proper activities, proper exertion, these are all contributing. If one overeats, right, then it will be a hindrance. One can't sleep properly, lot of problems. And if one does not sleep also, again it's a problem. I know one person who used to get up at 2:30 in the morning every day. Fine, good. Even though we don't recommend it. 2:30 getting up is not recommended. The fellow gets up at 2:30 in the morning. And then 6 o'clock comes to meditation, and then, ballet, Bharatanatyam, Kathakali, all happen there. All such dance forms you can see, ballet you can see, Kathakali you can see. All sitting posture, ballet does. Who has to get up at 2:30 in the morning? Why don't you get up at 5:30 or 5 o'clock? 5:30 is fine, 5 o'clock is fine. Why don't you get up there? Get that rest, and then you at least be free from that hangovers, etc. Who asked you to get up 2:30? Unearthly, ungodly times. If you don't get sleep, that's a different issue. Take treatment and do some yoga, etc. Cure that insomnia problem, whatever it is, cure that. Okay. So one has to see. You see what is the problem. You familiar become. This is a problem happening to me, and then overcome it. To see that you have to know what is the problem, and then only when you do it, what is the problem. Only when you try to memorize a shloka, right? Shuklam Bharadaram, then what? Oh, I thought I knew that Shuklam Bharadaram. No, one word I stuck. Shuklam Bharadaram, I am stuck. What is the next one? Only when I try to memorize, I know where are the difficulties, which word I forget. Right? And then I can, that means Shashivarnam is the next word. Shashivarnam. Shuklam Bharadaram. Shashivarnam. Shuklavardhanam, Shashivarnam. Then I know the next Shashivarnam comes next. Only by doing, I know what are the difficulties, and I can overcome only when I practice. Okay? Don't be smug. Don't be fools. Don't be smug on what you have to do. Yeah. Familiarize yourself with it. Do it, and then you see what is the impediment, and then overcome it. That is bravery. That is, you are a dhira, you are a wise person then. Okay. So, vijatiya pratyaya shunya, sajatiya pratyaya pravaha. Okay. One practice to do that. Then, etesham yogaha, sambandhaha. The interrelatedness of all this. One serves as a step for the stepping stone for the other. This is the yoga, sambandha, the mutual relation among them, the connectedness between them, their relevance, and therefore the need for taking to them. This is the yoga here. Tat karanam iti yavat. Tat karanam. Tat means he refers to the vidya, Brahmavidya. Vidyayaha karanam, the sadhanam ityartha. The sadhanas, so that I can prepare myself ready myself, and then thereby I can have this vidya. Tat karanam iti yavat. Yavat means dityartha. This again an express style. Iti yavat means iti artha. This is the meaning. This is the purport. This is the idea. Iti yavat. Then tasmat. From that means tasmat. From that avehi janihi. Avehi means gain, attain. It means understand. Janihi. You understand Atma, you know Atma as Brahman. Okay. We leave it here. We will continue next class. Om Bhadram Karne Vishrama Devaha Bhadram Pasye Makshaviryajatraha Sthirairangai Stushtavarusastanovihi Yasena Devahitam Yadayu Swasti Indro Vridhashravaha Swasti Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti Nastarsho Arishtanevihi Swasti No Brihaspati Dadhatu Om Shanti 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Shishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.
Suppose one meditates on himself form, then by doing some japa, sometimes the rupa of the Spiravata appears, and sometimes other thoughts related to he did that work and he did that. So is it meditating in this form?
Yes, it's all part of it, yes.
Suppose Swami Vivekananda says meditation is the Rupa means meditating on the light of the heart.
There are various forms.
By doing that one, some others are related to Brahman, like this Jagati Vidya and all those things. If it comes like that, all heart, is it true meditating?
They are all related. They are all related. Depending upon the necessity of a person, one may dwell on various elements of the parts of meditation, right? Visualizing in the form is also meditation, and then visualizing and thinking of it as a formless also is meditation. It depends upon the person's need, person's level, and also the person's level on a particular day, on a particular moment. It depends on all that. There is no, you cannot say formless alone has to be meditated, it is not correct. And formful alone you have to meditate, that also is not correct. So it's all one big process, okay? Depending upon the person's need, person's level, and also the level on a particular day, particular moment, one can take, they are all related. One day you can meditate upon formless, fine. Another day you can only meditate on formful, still fine. One day you can only japa only you can do, so it is fine. It's all meditation only. I leave it to Gita, okay? When you come across that in Gita, you just know that Shraddha, various qualities of Shraddha, the Sattviki, Rajasi, Tamasi, Shraddha are there. You can read for translations. You have Gita, you can read the translation. That is good enough for now. Shraddha, then there is quality, varying quality, degrees of qualities of Shraddha are there. That is Sattviki, Rajasi, Tamasi. You can read for yourself. You read for yourself. That's available, you can find for yourself. That's good enough now. That's one chapter called Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga in the Bhagavad Gita. Shraddhatraya. Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. In that you can find.